projectile motion. That's the lesson for today. We're going to do 3 questions. The first questions will be a little bit easier. Then the next 2 questions will be a little bit harder. And don't forget to take the quiz that is in the description below or in the pinned comment to practice. And then make sure you come back and look at the second video on projectile motion, because that second video will have harder questions. Okay, question 1. And what we are looking at is a horizontal launch from a table. A ball rolls off a horizontal table with a speed of 3 meters per second. The table is 1.2 meters high. How long does it take for the ball to hit the ground? That's the first question. And second question is how far from the base of the table does it land? Okay, let's write up what is it that we do know. So let's go ahead and make a column of that. So these are the given information. The initial velocity, that is the horizontal component of the velocity, right? V initial x, and then next one is V initial y, which is the vertical component. There is no vertical component here at 0 meters per second. The distance or the height of the table, 1.2 meters, and the g, the gravitation due to the acceleration due to gravity is negative 9.8 meters per second squared. But we are setting it up so that the upward motion is positive, downward motion is negative. This is always true. So be aware of that. And now we're going to go ahead and use the formula for the vertical component of the velocity. So this would be d, which is the height, is equal to VIY, that's the vertical component of the velocity, plus 1/2 gt squared. That's what we're going to use. Okay. The initial velocity for the vertical component is 0, but we do know that when you start the value at 1.2 meters going downwards, so that would be a negative 1.2 meters displacement based on the reference point, which is at the top of the table. And then the VIYT, this is, by the way, VIYT, that is 0 times t plus, and then 1/2 times negative 1.8 meters per second squared times t squared. We do the math in here, we'll get negative 1.2 meters equals to negative 4.9 meters per second squared t squared. Divide both sides by negative 4.9 meters per second squared, and your answer will be 0.495 seconds or 0.50 seconds. Now we get the time that hits the ground. That's part A. For part B, how far from the base of the table does it land, is just, we're going to use the horizontal component of the velocity. So for part B, we're going to use this VIX equals to distance over time. And we want to know what D is. So we're going to solve this equation for D. So D is equal to VIX times t, and then now we're going to plug in the numbers. Time for the vertical or horizontal, they're both the same. That time doesn't change. So the initial velocity was 3 meters per second, and then times 0.495 seconds, and distance will be 1.49 meters from the base of the cliff, or approximately 1.5. All right, that is the answer to question number 1, both answers. All right, just be aware that whenever you are starting with any of the projectile, g is negative 9.8 meters per second squared, and we are saying the upward motion is positive, downward motion is negative, and stay consistent within that positive and negative sign, and make sure that you are understanding the horizontal and vertical components of each projectile motion. Okay, next question. This question is a symmetric projectile motion, launched and landing at the same height. Okay, it's very important to know that. So a soccer ball is kicked with an initial speed of 18 meters per second at an angle of 35 degrees from the horizontal. Assume it lands at the same height it was kicked, which is, let's say, in the ground. What is the time of the flight? What is the maximum height reached? And what is the horizontal range? That means how far does it go horizontally? All right. First, let's write up what we do know. So these are the information that we have. Remember that the initial velocity um, is 18 meters per second, and this is actually your resultant vector. And every vector has got a horizontal and vertical components, and that's what we need to get. So let's go ahead and find the components of this vector. So here is the diagram for the components of the initial velocity, horizontal and vertical, Vix and Viy, which is right here. And then for each one of them, we need to find what Vix is and Viy is, and we're going to use trigonometry, and that's what we're going to use. So basically, we're going to start with the horizontal, which is Vix, and that is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is cosine. So cos theta is equal to Vix divided by 18 meters per second. Okay, and then sine, by the way, we're solving for Vix. So Vix, which is the horizontal component of the velocity, is equal to 18 meters per second times the cos of theta, which is 35 degrees. And then we do the same thing for the vertical component. So I'm not going to write that down, but Viy is going to be 18 meters per second times the opposite, which is sine of 35 degrees. Very good. Okay, we do the math on that one and we get the horizontal and vertical. So now that we have the horizontal and vertical component of the velocity, we're going to go ahead and answer the first question. What is the time of the flight? Now we do have the acceleration. We have the initial velocity for the y component. We also have the final velocity, because the final velocity is basically, that means is zero. But that's what we're going to use. So we're going to use one of the three. So we're going to use this. And this is, by the way, the vertical component of the velocity, and a is the acceleration due to gravity, which is g. So let's go ahead and plug numbers in. We notice that, so this is 0 meters per second, because it's going to land, the final velocity will be 0. The initial velocity, we have 10.3 meters per second, and then plus negative 9.8 meters per second squared times t. And then you can manipulate this equation, solve for t. So here it is. We have isolated the variable t, the time, and then divide both sides by the coefficient, which is negative 9.8 meters per second squared. And then when you divide, your answer for time will be approximately 1.05 seconds. But the total flight time, because that's what the question says, what is the time of flight? This is the total going up and down. So the total going up is 1.05, but coming down as well, because in two occasions you will have the final zero. One is at the top of the projectile. The other one is at the bottom of the at the very end of the projectile. So the total time would be 2 times t. So that would be 2 times t, which would be 2 times 1.05 seconds, which would end up being 2.1 seconds. That's the total flight time. Okay, so now let's look at the part B, or second part of the question. What is the maximum height reached? Okay, so let's go ahead, look at that. So for maximum height, we do know that V final y is 0 meters per second. And in this case, we're going to use this one because we're going to find the distance. This is the formula we're going to use. V final squared is equal to V initial. This is for y component, is squared plus 2gd. And we're going to go ahead and solve again, knowing that V final is 0. So let's rewrite the equation. Given that this is 0, we'll get that, and then we solve for the d by isolating it. So that would be 2gd. I'm rewriting this formula and solving for d. I am going to attach a video lesson on rearranging formulas for variables. So now solving for d, the final answer will be negative VIY squared divided by 2g. And remember, g, we already said that, negative 9.8 meters per second squared. Upward is positive, downward is negative. That's the convention there. Okay, plug in numbers and then you get the answer. And when you do this, you end up getting 5.41 meters. And remember that always when you are doing the math should make sense. So here we have a negative divided by negative after you're squaring it. Okay, you square it first, then you have to do the multiplication in front, right? That's what this negative in front does. And then that the answer would be positive value. All right, so here is the vertical distance. That's part B, or number 2 of this the answer, part 2 of the question. So B, or number 2. And then the last part, which is right here, what is the horizontal range? Let's look at that. We're going to use the Vix because the horizontal component of the velocity, which is equal to d over t. And what we're looking at, we're going to solve for d. All right, again, rearrange. We get d is equal to Vix times t. Now we're going to plug in numbers and then get the values. 14.7 meters per second times, and then the time that we already know is 2.10 seconds. Okay, that's a multiplication, and final answer we get 30.9 meters, and if you round it up, 31 meters. That is the answer to the last part of question number 2. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Question 3, a rock is thrown from the edge of a 45-meter high cliff with an initial speed of 12 meters per second at 30 degrees. That's the angle that is being thrown above the horizontal. 3 questions we need to answer. Write the vertical position equation, basically the height, yt, taking the launch point as y equal to 0. So that means that that's your base. That means that the 45 meters will go down. And when it goes down, it becomes negative 45. Then part 2, how long does it take for the rock to hit the ground below the cliff, and how far horizontally from the base of the cliff does it land? All right, so we're going to go ahead, write up what we do know. Here these are the given information. Now we're going to go ahead and find the components, horizontal and vertical components of the velocity given the angle. So this time, very easy, horizontal and vertical. So that's what we have for the horizontal, VI times the cos of theta. I went over that in question 1, so you may want to go back and review that again, and basically multiplying cos 30 degrees by the initial velocity, and then we're going to rewrite the vertical is the same thing. Vi this time is sine theta, and then write it up. For the horizontal component of the velocity, we get 10.4 meters per second. For the vertical component, we get 6.0 meters per second. And now that we have this, we can go ahead and find the vertical position equation based on that. And then that's what we're going to use. We're going to use the VIY for that. And that's very easy. We're just going to use the the distance formula given the initial velocity. So this is what we're going to use. VIY t plus 1/2 gt squared. We're going to plug numbers in, and we're just going to get a general equation, and the equation we'll get is going to be looking like, it's going to be like this: negative 45 meters equals to 6.0 meters per second t plus 1/2 times negative 9.8 meters per second squared times t squared. Okay, so the general equation that we'll end up having, I'm going to rewrite this and bring everything together and simplify. You have to kind of review your solving formulas using pre-calculus 10 lesson. I'm going to put a link to that lesson for you. Make sure you go over that. And what you will get is this equation right here. That is your equation for the yt. Okay? That's the equation right there. All right. Now, to solve that, it says how long does it take for the rock to hit the ground below the cliff? You need to solve this quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. And to solve that, you need quadratic formula. And what I will do, I'm going to put a link in the description below and on a card about how to use quadratic formula. If you don't know it already, I'm assuming that most of you have already done pre-calculus 11 or algebra 1 and know how to use that. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and plug in the values for the quadratic formula. This is the quadratic formula. They have a, b, c variables in here. These are all basically the coefficients that you see in the quadratic equation. I've listed them all here, and you just plug numbers in and get the value. And here it is for the direct substitution, and then the t value will end up being approximately 3.70 seconds. Okay, that's what it will be, and it's very straightforward. If it's a negative, there are two possible values in here, but you're going to take only the positive time, not the negative time, because that doesn't make any sense. Okay, now let's look at the last question. How far horizontally from the base of the cliff does it land? That's just we're going to use the horizontal component of the velocity, which is right here, and we already know the time. We can find the distance, and that's just straightforward. Let's do that. And here it is, 10.4 meters per second. You multiply that by 3.70 seconds that we found, and that becomes 38.5 meters. That's the range. That's the distance from the base. Now, remember that the time, this is very important. The time, the horizontal time, Tx, that's the horizontal, must equal to Ty, the time for the vertical. That's the only thing that is equal to each other in a projectile motion. The time it takes for a horizontal distance to go and the time it takes that it goes up and down. That time has to be the same. It's always the same. All right. Make sure you check out the quiz in the description below and check out the next video, because the next video is even harder than this set of questions that we have done. Okay. Until next time.